Near Mahmutlar, probably. Kestel is my number 2 love. By car, it's like this, din 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 din. At home, the wife, zoo 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 zoo. He once ran away and plays PlayStation peacefully. And we even saw such people here for walks in winter. There. Friends, good afternoon. I am Elena. Welcome to the Alanya Life Uncensored channel. We are currently in the Alanya district called Kestel, and today's episode is another installment in the series of overview. Videos about the districts of Alanya. A bit noisy, right? But we specifically came to this place to show you this interesting location, and roughly speaking, we are almost in the center, in an area. That divides Kestel into its modern part, which is rapidly developing, and the one that is a bit older, developing a little less. But today we will show you everything so that you get the right impression of this area. Let's go. Well, from this starting point, we are heading to the part of the district that is adjacent to Mahmutlar. In general, I want to say a few words about the district itself. You know, as much as I have explored all of Alanya, I am insanely fond of this area. I always call it intelligent in conversations. Well, because that word describes it completely. First of all, it is quite quiet here. Here you won't find any noisy bars, discos, clubs, or any kind of hustle and bustle. None of the attributes of a lively and resort life. There are low-rise buildings here, there is a ban on high-rise buildings, and real estate prices are high. Therefore, people with slightly higher incomes, they tend to buy and settle down here. Accordingly, they have somewhat different interests and in general priorities. In life, I would say it's an intelligent district with intelligent residents. You know, for example, 5 years ago when we moved here, the area seemed a bit empty in terms of infrastructure. And it really was, but now it is just a boom of development. Although this boom of development does not contradict the intelligence of the area. New wonderful restaurants, cafes and bars are opening here. But somehow it doesn't spoil its appearance. Now let's go and take a look at all of this. Regarding the infrastructure. By the way, in this very area, we will go and show you a bit later, there is a university, a Russian-speaking school, and a kindergarten. There is also a clinic here. Well, in general, all the social infrastructure is here. There is a large training football field right on the beach. Further along, there are pharmacies, chain stores, and Shun gas stations. Well, basically, there is everything. Now I will just show you all of it. We are moving a little forward along the street towards Mahmutlar. First of all, I want to draw your attention. The main street itself, it is the second one, parallel to the sea. It is beautiful in itself because it is a boulevard. And it is all paved with cobblestone. It looks beautiful, but you know, when you're driving a car, it's like din 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 din. But nevertheless. And here is what actually greets us. Look at this beauty. The garden center is very large, very extensive. I occasionally buy something there. The street goes up in the form of a boulevard. So, on this square, at this intersection, the main ATMs are concentrated. I think I saw a couple more in other places, but generally most of them are here. Behind me there are 4 of them. Probably everyone who lives here knows it. It's a very tasty chain cafe with sweets and meals available. In general, there are always a lot of students in this area because there is a university here. And when students finish their studies, they also scatter and spread out here. Friends, I want to remind you to subscribe to our Telegram channel. Why? Because then you will have the freshest information every day. Useful information. News, events, expert opinions, statistics. In short, everything you need for life in Turkey. If we talk about real estate in this area, most of the houses here are relatively new. There are no very old ones. Well, because the area started to be actively developed not so long ago. For example, 15-year-old houses, well, you can probably count them on your fingers here. Mostly everything is new. Construction, of course, continues as it does in all areas, but here it is somehow conducted in a culturally sensitive manner, and I don't really see or feel any discomfort. In Mahmutlar, things are somehow worse in this regard. Due to the fact that a lot is still being built, many properties are being rented out. Here, on every corner, you can of course find real estate agencies. Well, naturally, traditionally, all the first floors on the main street are of course occupied by something These are either cafes, restaurants, or some tiny little Turkish coffee shops. There are all the necessary stores, but it doesn't look, like it does on Atatürk Street in Mahmutlar. Over there, all the construction, industrial stuff, and those hardware stores somehow ruin the appearance, but here everything is even beautified. For example, friends, we are just walking down the street, and what do we see? It's the very famous Daniel's Cafe, sushi. Probably the tastiest and most famous sushi in all of Alanya. As we move along, we come across chain stores, all of which are represented here. There is a Carrefour, and the Migros is quite large, not a jet. And then there are BIM, SOC, and A101, all of which are available here. There is only one main street. And even now the high season has already started, and traffic has increased significantly. But compared to other areas, it is still quite quiet here, because most of the traffic goes along the main road by the sea. This is more of a secondary road, so it is not very noisy, and it is relatively safe. To cross, you can run across anywhere. About a year ago, a large fitness center opened, with 2 floors. Someone told me that it's quite nice inside with modern equipment. Such a significant place. Just a year ago, this is exactly on the topic that Kestel is indeed developing, and developing quite well. So, the main station and the taxi stop. Well, we know we can call a taxi from any point using buttons, but here is the taxi station. And here, please, is the construction. Well, it seems like there is construction, but overall the decent appearance of the area isn't really being spoiled. Here, by the way, is a cafe with authentic Turkish cuisine, Hata, which is also a chain restaurant. Well, generally speaking, it's tasty, they say. Honestly, I haven't tried Turkish cuisine in a long time. I don't even know why. On the opposite side, there's also a cafe restaurant called Moto. It's a super, ultra, mega popular place. In the evenings, it's always crowded, even during the winter season. Turks come here and they like it. You can smoke a hookah here, and there are food and drinks. And I think they even have some kind of game room. They are playing PlayStation. Oh, I get it, it's not even for the hookah, but just to play PlayStation. At home, his wife is nagging, so he ran off once and is playing PlayStation peacefully. Well, friends, regarding pharmacies, the situation is a bit worse here. There is only one pharmacy on this side, and towards the end, near the river, there is a second pharmacy next to the clinic, which we will show you later. It would be good to open more. Please hear us. Open more pharmacies. And there are many such small streets here. They are very quiet. I don't understand why. On one side, there's the federal highway along the sea. Yes, right here to our left. And behind these houses on the right, there's another road. But in these little streets, it's just so quiet. So basically, this is the face of Kestel. Quiet and cozy. And importantly, there are still no parking problems here. You understand now, if you want to go to the center, to Alanya, you always have to leave early to find, it's a blessing if you're lucky enough to find a parking spot on the streets. And here, as you can see, there is plenty of space, even if there is no parking within the complex. But by the way, I want to point out that there are no parking lots on the territory of the complex, perhaps because the land is expensive. All complexes have relatively small, modest areas. Well, no, there are, of course, exceptions, but for the most part, there is a small pool, yes, but as for gardens, large areas for volleyball, sports grounds, parking lots, I don't see anything like that here. That is, low-rise houses. But I have a theory as to why. If the house is low-rise with a small number of apartments, maintaining a large area and infrastructure would likely be financially unfeasible. Therefore, they limit themselves to a minimal area and minimal infrastructure. In our episodes, we cover everything about life in Turkey and traveling across the country, where it is warm almost year-round. Tall palm trees, fresh farm fruits and vegetables all year-round. If you decide to choose a place to live here, our company, Prime Invest, will be happy to help you find the best option where you will be happy to live. We are also developers and build beautiful villas with sea and mountain views. All contact details are in the description. By the way, yes, there is still some available land. Look, along our route, we come across small banana gardens. By the way, regarding private property in Turkey, this is the pillar on which the legality in Turkey stands. If you own any private property, the state cannot force you to do anything with it if you don't want to. How many times have we seen this, even in Mahmutlar, where there are tall new buildings all around and there's one village house left, possibly even with a cow and maybe chickens. And it will remain that way until the owners themselves decide to sell or do something. There. A road will need to be built and your house will be in the way. You will not be kicked out, your property will not be taken away, and you will not be pressured in any way. I think that's wonderful. By the way, friends, since there is a large university here, there is an interesting place down below, a bit further from the university. This is a dormitory for students of the sports faculty. And we have even seen ones like these here, even... Friends, we made another stop here. Look, right in the center on the main street, there is a kindergarten. It is Turkish English, meaning they speak two languages here. Naturally, children of different nationalities can be enrolled, allowing the child to learn two languages. It is a fairly large, two-story, popular kindergarten. By the way, here in Kestel, we passed by another significant and delicious place, the restaurant Sicily. Check out our previous video. We just did an interview with its owner. It's very interesting. Friends, the part of Kestel that adjoins Mahmutlar looks something like this. Why? Because all the construction here is still only on the line that is adjacent to the sea. After the road, which we are driving on centrally, it will lead to this road, let's say modestly, and construction beyond it is not being carried out yet. That is, only old Turkish houses and gardens remain here. You can even see greenhouses with hothouses. In other words, it is not yet developed. What does this indicate? That the prospects for development and construction in Kestel are very significant, but modern life hasn't quite arrived here yet. There are even some small warehouse complexes and a small industrial zone. By the way, we are approaching it now, and I will show you. Many of you are wondering where to get your car repaired at a service center where they speak Russian. We all get our services there. This is the car service. The owner is our fellow countryman, and the entire staff speaks Russian. And probably we will even leave a link to the location of this car service, so you can use it, because many of you even wrote to me and asked in the comments, here is that car service. The owner here is Andre. You can contact him, and you will receive very high quality service. And this is how the area looks from the road, from the federal highway that runs along the sea. It's beautiful too. A lot of plants and flowers have also been planted. In general, I really love this promenade. I even sometimes come here to walk my dog. Firstly, because there are very few people here. People running, jumping, riding on everything, or just strolling around. And it's very well maintained, such a green promenade. I love this place. In general, after Mahmutlar, Kestel is probably my second love. One of the few, let's be honest. Playgrounds in Kestel, but it's good, popular, and there are always a lot of kids here. It's just noon on a workday right now, so there aren't many people, but in the evening, believe me, it's full of kids. And there are cozy little cafes here. You can buy a pizza for your little one, and there's a cafe right behind us. By the way, the coffee is pretty good. We sat there once. And look, across from the playground, there's another garden center, a huge one, I would say. And here I managed to leave my mark. It's actually strange. There are a lot of garden centers in Kestel. Take note if you want to buy something for your home or garden. Friends, now we want to show you from a distance. Do you see that blue, green, light blue building? This is the only center for child development in all of Malaysia, specifically for special children. Look, a view from above. Isn't it great? Oh, such a lovely breeze. Look, a new cafe has opened and everything there is freshly made. And look at the wide entrance they have cut through the tiles. In general, it should be noted about the beaches. The beaches in Kestel are probably even worse than the beaches in Mahmutlar. It's a series of slabs, except for the very beginning where there are hotels on the first shoreline. But each cafe invests and creates good access to the sea for itself. But for walks, this beach is simply wonderful. I repeat, I often walk here with my dog. It is wide and not steep, with gentle, dense sand suitable for winter walks. Here we are. Now we have arrived at the school. See behind me? Classica M. So it's a popular school, super famous. Why? Because the education here is in Russian, according to the Russian program. Therefore, the price. I don't know what the price is this year, but generally it's always astronomical. Well, everyone is basically satisfied with the quality of education. You see, they have their own transfer buses, just like in all Turkish schools. They pick up and drop off the kids at home. And also under the same sign, also Classica M, they have their own kindergarten. However, it is not located in this building, not on this territory, but there is also a kindergarten. Well, here we are at the university building. I would even say it's not just a building, it's a huge, gigantic university campus, and it continues to develop. So we arrived just when the students had finished their classes. There are regular buses that go here, so getting there is not a problem. Well, it's a significant place for Alanya. By the way, the university is not ranked very low. It actually has a good reputation, and the campus occupies a huge area. We once had an episode on our channel about this topic, where we detailed the faculties available here and the number of students enrolled. If you're interested, you can take a look. And of course, the university has its own website, and you can visit it to find out more if you're interested. So, in general, we've shown you this place. And here is a slightly different Kestel. It's kind of like a small neighborhood. It starts right behind the Michel Hotel, which, as you all know, is right on the highway. And this area is even more modern than the main part of Kestel. There are many new buildings and construction continues. Now we will show you this from above, from a bird's eye view. The complexes here are, of course, very modern and beautiful. And I want to draw your attention to the fact that here the complexes have larger areas, unlike those on the central streets. Why, I don't know, but I state the fact. And now the infrastructure is richer, with parking lots, swimming pools, and small slides. It's also quiet here. I would say that it might even be quieter here than over there on the main streets. Beautiful. I'll say it's beautiful. And over there is the road. It goes into the mountains. And now we'll lift the drone and show how far these new complexes have spread. But not very far. Kestel is generally inland from the sea, occupying a relatively small area, but it is likely to continue developing further and higher if we move from the place where we started filming the video towards the center. We will end up at the clinic. In fact, that's exactly where we are now. The district clinic provides a minimal range of primary services if available, and Comet. It's free. You just need to register in the system. And right next to it, there is a second pharmacy in Kestel. I don't know, maybe we'll come across another one. If we do, I'll definitely show you where it is. Now we continue to move towards the center, but still within the Kestel area. Look, another significant place in Kestel is the DOA College. One of the three most well-known and I would say strongest colleges. It is international. I won't delve into this topic right now because we already had a video on our channel where we reviewed educational institutions here. It is located in Bugalta, 200 meters from the clinic, which is situated in Kestel. It's a popular place. Parking is always difficult, but it's significant. Again, if you have kids, read up on it. Google it. And now we are right on the border of the Kestel and Tosmur areas. This is a famous river. I really love this place and its banks. They are just wonderfully made. I would say 5 stars plus. There are beautiful areas for walks, barbecues, and picnics. There is a huge flock of geese living here, and they are now wild. But I know the story. A man told me that a local resident from some village, from a dacha, I think, brought a small family here, just a few individuals, and released them here. And they multiplied. There are probably about 20, 30 of them now. I don't know exactly how many, but they are such fat, healthy geese. Well, friends, this is still Kestel Tay. Maybe you didn't know. This little piece by the river